We need to be able to get out of here.
Right.
When you go all over this world, white people are everywhere. Did you know that? They everywhere, having a great time. And we be thinking that we are only allowed to be here. Now, by the way, the reason I sent that text is because I was sitting in the Paris Charles de Gaulle airport and I was seeing. I had texted him and said, I got to Paris. I can't wait for you to get your passport and travel with me. And he had said, I don't need a passport. I travel in my mind.
That's how I let somebody see it.
And so here we go again, back with another one. Welcome back to the Dark Times channel. And before I go ahead and dive in, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel and you've been enjoying the content so far on this channel, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so let's go ahead and dive right in. Today's video, I entitled it, Do Black People Need Passports? Let's talk about it. Let's have that conversation. Is it a necessity for black people to have passports to be able to travel to different countries?
No, it's not that.
You're right. Get out, see the world, enjoy yourself, fulfill every erotic desire.
And before I give my take on it, let me just preface by saying I'm somebody that, has had the benefit and the luxury, if you want to call it that, of going to different countries and traveling outside of the United States. And so that gives me, I think, maybe a different perspective versus somebody that has never done so. And before I give my take, I want to go ahead and play a small clip of the interview that Shannon Sharpe did with Amanda Seales. And then, of course, I'll come back in and give my take.
So I was justified in that. People mad at me because I said, if you got Nikes and Jordans, if you got money for Nikes and Jordans, you got a passport, you're losing. Amanda Seales is a member of the petty bourgeoisie. She is making fun of the disenfranchised passport black folks. What are you talking about? Do you understand these people don't want us here? They don't want us here.
So let me go ahead and pause it right there. Amanda Seales sounds like somebody who's not from here. Sounds like somebody that doesn't have a lineage to the United States. When she says they don't want us here, now we all know when she says they, we know who she's talking about. She's talking about people within the dominant society. She's talking about so-called white people. And I would probably say, of course, there's a level of truth to that. Not all, but a lot of people do feel like that. And that's something that so-called Black Americans have always known. But we could give a damn. This is our country. This is the country that our ancestors have fought and bled in every single battle and every single war over. And so we could give a damn on who wants us here and who doesn't want us here. That's never been our concern. This is our homeland. And some of us can even trace our lineage back to the indigenous people of this land. And so there's nowhere to run. And even if you did run, it's the same story all over the world. Because hospitality would only go so far, skin color be damned. If you don't have a lineage and you don't have a history on that particular soil, you're only going to be greeted with open arms to an extent. You're only going to be allowed to have any kind of say-so to a certain extent. And that's the way it should be. Got no issues with that. But that's something that Amanda Seales doesn't understand because she's not from here. Her family is not from here. She claims that her father's FBA. She claims that her father is a so-called Black American, but yet nobody knows his name. She has not revealed his name. All we have is a picture to go by, so who knows? And as we all know, her mother is a so-called Black Grenadian, and I believe she identifies as East Indian, and so she's not from here. And this is somebody that was raised by their mother. And on a side note, Amanda Seales is somebody that has vitriol for so-called black men, allegedly. And I'll say allegedly, but I'll use that lightly, because she has a history of showing how she feels about so-called black men. If y'all remember when that movie King Richard came out, Amanda Seales was one of the first people that had something slick to say. She posted something to the effect of, why is Will Smith playing Richard Williams? And also, why is there a film about Richard Williams? So this is somebody that had an issue with a film portraying a black father in a positive light. That was the real issue, because Amanda Seales is somebody that has daddy issues. It goes back to her childhood, as everything often does. And a lot of the stuff that comes out of her mouth, you can tell that this is a woman that was raised by a woman that possibly had vitriol towards her ex-husband, allegedly. And subsequently, she has an issue with men, and in particular, so-called black men. Because this is a story that really had my blood boiling back in the day, because this is an individual and his ex-football player, Dr. Myron Rolle, a former football player, former standout collegiate athlete, a former NFL player who worked the system. He played the system, made his way all the way to the NFL to be able to live out his real dream, which was becoming a neurosurgeon. And this is a player that could have been in the league for a while. He was a decent player, but he wanted to live out his dream. He wanted to live out his real dream, like I said, was becoming a neurosurgeon. But yet Amanda Seales had the audacity to go on the Breakfast Club and slander this man for no reason. She's on record saying that she had individuals calling her and texting her after they broke up, after Myron broke up with her, telling her that he was some kind of predator and all kind of salacious things. A lot of hearsay, a lot of allegedly, things that can't be proven, things that can only tarnish one's name. And that's exactly what she did. She tried to put a stain on Myron's name. A neurosurgeon, a so-called black man neurosurgeon. Individuals like this who need to be held up as a shining example for our young black men. But yet she tried to tear him down for no other reason other than the fact, according to Myron Rolle, he wanted nothing to do with her. He didn't want to date her long term. And this is according to Myron. He made a statement denouncing everything that she said, vehemently denouncing it. And then, of course, people got on the bumper, and then Amanda Seales tried to come back and backtrack and clean it up.
Things to address. 1. I never accused Myron Rolle of harassing me or of sending me inappropriate DMs. What I did say was that via DM, several women have approached me accusing him of harassing them. 2nd, I never said that black men were the cause for Jussie Smollett, and I also have never said that black men are solely the cause for holding black people back. That's preposterous. What I have said is that there are many ways that we are holding black people back, all of us, and then I listed several ways. And lastly, the notion that I hate black men is simply preposterous.
Too little, too late. Damage is done. You don't come out, especially on the Breakfast Club, and slander somebody and accuse somebody, especially in this Me Too movement, especially when you're talking about a so-called black man, without any proof. Without any proof other than random DMs that you say you received. That's irresponsible on a lot of different levels. And this is somebody that does not represent the community. Anybody that does anything like this does not have the community's best interest at heart. And so I got a big issue with Amanda Seales. And then on top of that, she does too much. Coming on the interview wearing kente cloth, the big hoop earrings, having the black scent, she does way too much. And so to me, she's the biracial equivalent to Rachel Dolezal. Somebody that's cosplaying at being black, and in particular a black American, but doesn't know what it really means.
Disenfranchised passport black folks. What are you talking about? Do you understand these people don't want us here? They don't want us here. We need to be able to get out of here.
Right.
When you go all over this world, white people are everywhere. Did you know that? They everywhere, having a great time. And we be thinking that we are only allowed to be here. This world is for us. We are the bottom line. We are the creators. So why would we not make sure that we have access to everything instead of limiting ourselves to consumerism? We can do both.
Yes.
We can do both. And one thing I've had to learn is just like, sometimes I just be talking.
Right.
Now, by the way, the reason I sent that text is because I was sitting in the Paris Charles de Gaulle airport and I was seeing, I had texted him and said, I got to Paris. I can't wait for you to get your passport and travel with me. And he had said, I don't need a passport. I travel in my mind.
That's how like somebody said.
And that's what made me send that tweet.
And so absolutely, that's something I would have said too. If I was dealing with an individual like an Amanda Seales, there's no way in hell I'm traveling anywhere, let alone outside the country with somebody like that. A person like that, an individual like that, is liable to say anything and get you caught up in another country. Liable to start an argument with anybody. And so that's the last person you want to travel with. I would have said the same thing. I can go there in my mind. We don't need to go to Paris. We don't need to see the Eiffel Tower. We can see it in our head. We can see it from the internet. But in all seriousness, there is a level of truth to that. Feeling like you don't necessarily need to travel, especially in today's time and with today's technology. You know, back in the day, it wasn't necessarily as accessible to be able to see all these different places and all these beautiful surroundings. But now you can see it from your fingertips. And like I said earlier, I'm somebody that's traveled to a lot of different places, a lot of different countries. And I'm not saying it's not worth it to have a passport to be able to travel to some of these places and some of these other countries. I'm not saying it's not worth it, because it is. It's nice to be able to have a different set of memories and a different set of experiences other than the ones that you can have in the United States. But knowing what I know and traveling like I've traveled, it's not the end all be all. If you never leave the United States, you're going to be okay. I would say most Americans, the average American, is better off paying off their credit cards than traveling to another country. You'll get more out of it at the end of the day. It's a higher reward in it for you at the end of the day, versus traveling to another country just to post on your Instagram and take pictures and tell everybody that you did that, you went there. Because let's get real, that's the major reason why the majority of people travel, especially in this day and age, is so they can take pictures, post videos, and tell everybody, yeah, I did that, I went there, that was me. And I'm not saying there's outliers. Of course, there's always exceptions to the rules. Some people really do want to visit different places and go places they never seen. But for the most part, people just want clout. People just want the attention, the adoration and admiration of being able to tell people and being able to show people that they went here and there. But other than that, you're not missing out on anything. But definitely, if you can, I recommend that everybody get a passport. I recommend that everybody travel if they want to. Keyword want to. It's not something that you have to do, because once you get there and you never really wanted to go there in the first place, it's not going to be worth it for you. If you're going to travel the country, let it be somewhere that you really want to go and not just to get out. Otherwise, you're wasting your money and then you're wasting your time on top of that. But that's my take on it anyway. Let me know how y'all feel in the comment section below. And as usual, peace and chaos.